the third one. If I'm
no, second.
No. There was another one at Legends. John Menachino from Event Warn had an issue with
John
him as
had
well.
one. Yes, I remember that. Okay, you're right.
And that was
the day after.
Day after he had an incident with him at the meet and greet at Fun Station. Yep. So I mean, this guy is he's very look. We had no problems with him personally. I don't have anything bad to say about him, but just by observation and from what I'm hearing, he's a very controlling person, very protective of China, which is great.
Great.
You know, she probably needs that. Yeah.
But I will also say that China is
a job.
China is nothing but a sweetheart.
But let her do a job.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're paid for a time slot. Mm-hmm. You sign anything that's put in front of you during that time slot. It doesn't matter how many, who it came from, or what it is.
Because you're getting your money regardless.
You're getting your money, you're paid regardless. So most of them, and a lot of them, are paid in advance.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're comfortably flown in and put in a hotel and everything else.
Driven to and from wherever you need to go.
And fed.
Yep.
So, you know what? Do what you're asked to do. Sign what you're asked to sign, and that's it. Yep. You know? I don't care if they put 35 in the same picture in front of you. Who cares? It was paid for.
Yep.
That's the whole point. You're there to make money. The promoter's there to make money, and you're there to make money. You already made your money. Now sign so the promoter can make some money.
And most of those big name people, they're not. It's not just all right. We're gonna pay you $1,000, and when we get above that $1,000, we're gonna go 50-50 or 25.
You're talking about.
You're getting paid.
Nash, I think, is like $7,500.
He's getting that flat out, and then nothing else.
He's getting $7,500, a hotel stay, some meals, and a plane.
Yep.
You know, and you know, and then you're gonna get up early
at 12:45 and say you have to leave,
and leave your fan. Tell her, oh, my flight is like 3 o'clock. I gotta go.
It was 3:30. Let me mind you, and the event ended at 2.
Yeah, but originally everybody was on the impression that his flight wasn't until almost 5. So magically, it was early.
And also, plus he was leaving out of LaGuardia, so I almost guarantee that he did not leave on time.
And he left people standing there.
Yep.
And, you know...
Richie told him multiple times to on the sign.
Obviously it doesn't look good to Nash, but Nash don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But it makes the promoter look bad.
Yep.
And that's the one who suffers, is the promoter, and their brand is the one that suffers because they're the one be known as the ones that didn't make Kevin Nash stay and sign what was paid for. Yep. Meanwhile, it's not them. It's Kevin Nash. How, you know, I love Richie and I love Lou, but Kevin Nash is 7 feet tall and he's an athlete.
Yep.
If he says no, I don't really think, you know, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You're going to tell him, sit your ass down?
I will eat you for breakfast.
Yeah, I'm kicking him in the quad.
Kick him in the quad. Yeah, that's everybody's got a weakness. You kick him in the quad.
Kick him in the quad! Well, I'm sure he's got a lot of scar tissue there.
Yeah. But, I mean, overall, there was a lot of great talent. I didn't get a chance to walk around too much. We were very, very busy at our table. I had a chance to...
I got a limited walk-in.
Yes, I did a quick walk because it was also...
I wanted to say hi to Andrew Anderson, Greg Valentine, Brutus Beefcake. That was early.
Yeah.
Then I went into the sweat box.
Yep.
Which was
deeper
the
in
back room.
Yeah.
I didn't even get a chance to see Richie because it was so hot.
I walked by and said hi to Richie.
I got to meet Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, and Ricky Steamboat.
Ricky Steamboat, yep.
And got to say hello to Ricky O.
Ricky O, yep.
And by that time, the sweat was just dripping down my head.
I made one trip around that main room and couldn't even stand there anymore.
It was so hot in there. And then we got the hell out of there. And then congratulations, obviously, I wanted to bring this up. Congratulations goes out there to Dean Malenko, who was inducted into the Hardcore Hall of Fame yesterday at a House of Hardcore.
Yep. So, Friday night, I think it was.
Was it?
Because I saw the banners on Facebook on Friday night.
Okay.
So I think it was Friday night.
Congratulations, because they had back-to-back shows.
Yes.
But congratulations to him. Well deserved. Should be in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Probably won't for a while, unfortunately.
One of the greatest technical wrestlers there ever was.
One of my top 10.
He's I think he was like 1 or 2 on my list when we did that list.
No, I'm saying he's top 10 all time for any cat, like all favorite wrestlers of all time. He's definitely top 10 for me.
He's up there with me with Tully Blanchard and Kurt Hennig and those guys.
Kurt Hennig's up there too. But yeah, definitely congratulations to Dean. He looked very drained at the end of the night when we were walking out. He was sitting there on his chair.
Yeah, he was done.
He was very drained, and
he had to sit next to Jim the Animal Neidhart the whole time. So. I'm sure that was interesting.
Yeah, we didn't get the chance to see Brett was there. Shawn Michaels was there.
Michaels.
Didn't get to see them. Jim Neidhart was there. I didn't get to see.
Earl
Actually,
Hebner.
I did see Jim Neidhart walking through.
Yeah.
I saw Earl Hebner.
Billy Kidman.
I
He was sitting right next to Dean.
don't know if I saw. I might have seen it.
It
like
was Earl, Billy, Dean,
Gotcha.
and Jim.
Okay, gotcha.
That was MZ Promotions, Dave Mooch.
Yep, Mooch.
That's right. One day, I gotta give him a shout out.
Yeah.
He's the reason. Like, he got us Bob Orton,
Yep.
and he's the reason we got EC3.
Absolutely.
So we got to give a shout out to Mr. Slim.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I mean, every promoter takes care of other promoters.
Yeah, you would think.
Yep.
You would think.
Yeah.
It's funny. That's a good segue.
Yeah. Very good
Segue
segue.
right into a rant.
Yep.
Because I haven't
Here we
ranted.
go.
I haven't ranted. Look, we haven't been doing this that long.
No.
But I do know respect.
Yes. Respect is number one.
I'm definitely old enough to know respect is earned, and
Yes.
you give it and you get it back.
Absolutely.
But when a vendor asks a vendor for a favor, don't turn around and say he's got to go. He's got to go. No, he's got to leave.
Yep.
Okay? When a vendor walks up to one of your guys who is standing in front of my table talking to my guy, which he now is not signing autographs because he's talking to
you.
Scott Hall,
Yep.
and I go over with a single wrestling card. Which takes 8 seconds to sign? And I ask him, Scott, before you leave, can you sign this for me? And the promoter turns around and tells me, no, he's got to go. Then stays there for another minute plus talking to Justin.
It was a weird situation, a weird confrontation. I don't even want to say confrontation. It was just a weird situation.
That is weird because I think Scott Hall would have signed it.
He probably would have. He looked at me.
I remember at a JCW event, I had a 15-minute conversation with him. All I was doing was getting pictures signed, and he took the time out of his life to talk to me about the pictures
And I mean, plus-
and his experiences, like what was going on in the picture, what was really happening. Like there was a picture with Macho Man, Miss Elizabeth. There was him, Razor Ramon, in the WCW ring with Kevin Nash. And he was calling out the spots to me, saying, this was real, this Macho was supposed to be doing this, but he decided he wanted to do this instead. And, he took the time out of his day to not just sign the pictures that I brought to him, but tell me about his experiences. And I don't see why he wouldn't sign a card.
And plus, he was standing there talking to one of our guests for the day. So, obviously, you brought in Justin Credible? Oh, all right, yeah, no problem. I'll do a quick signature for you, no problem. I don't see why he wouldn't.
I'm walking up there. I got a Damage 365 radio shirt that's our batteries on the wall.
We're sitting there with 4 awesome guests.
We got four hired superstars sitting there. Obviously, I'm not just a random fan walking up to you going, "Hey, can you sign it?"
Diamond stud.
I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, it's it's very unprofessional. And, other vendors did me favors, and I do them favors.
We do. It's just vendors take care of vendors. Promoters take care of. It's competition.
Because, it is, but it's not. But at some point, sometimes one of those promoters calls another one and says, "Hey, do you have a phone number to this person, or do you have, can you get in touch with this person?" Or in my case, I bought the photos from Dave from MZ Promotions of EC3 instead of me having to go out and do it myself. He had extra ones, and I bought them from him.
Yeah.
So that's taking care of each other. I guess we can move on from big event.
Yeah. I think we've definitely covered a lot. Covered everything.
Traveled through the BQE, sat in 2 hours of traffic.
Vomit.
That was awesome.
I wanted to die. I felt like absolute garbage in that car ride.
Going over the Verrazano Bridge, I think I signed over rights to my first child to pay the toll. Yeah.
But lucky for them.
Yeah, lucky for them. I don't have dogs, so we're good. As we all heard. And then we got into Jersey. We grabbed something to eat and went to Rahway Rec Center and Jersey All Pro Wrestling. We did the meet and greet. Stayed there a little long. We actually stayed right into the start of the first match.
Well, the introductions, because it was a 6-way match.
And again, I don't want to continue my rant, but I had a little beef there. They put us in a crappy area, put us in the corner. A very dark corner, I might add, and a dead end. So anybody, you had people coming and going, but there was no it's just everybody's bumping into each other, trying to get out of that corner while other people are trying to get into the corner. And they called me. They contacted me, asked me to bring April there. April being one of the original Jersey All Pro female wrestlers from back in the day. This was like a homecoming. This should have been a big thing.
Yeah.
This should have been a big thing for the company. This should have been a big thing for her. There should have been a lot of excitement, a lot of build, a lot of promoting of her. They did no promoting of her.
Yep.
Why would you not promote one of your originals coming back for the Fat Frank tribute show, which could be the last show of your company, and you're not promoting one of your originals coming back? Yep. She was probably the oldest person in that building that competed under that banner.
Yep.
And you're not going to promote her? At least cross-promote, and then you stick her in the corner? And you charge me for the table?
When you asked us.
When you asked me? I had no intentions of bringing her there.
Yeah. We were going to have a couple-hour break and then go, wow,
So, and that took away from us making money during the pre-show at WOW, because we were doing a pre-show at Jersey All Pro. I don't regret going there. It was a nice experience. They put on a hell of a show.
Yeah.
A great tribute. Yeah. The crowd was electric. I'm not complaining about that at all, but, that was
certain things that I would change.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. They should have promoted her.
Yep.
And I mean, not because of me. Don't promote her because of who's bringing her. Promote her because of who she is and what she stood for your company.
Help her make.
Obviously, she had to be a big deal there for you to reach out to me and ask me to bring her.
Yeah.
So, whatever the case may be, and she was a little upset.
Yeah,
she was a little upset how things turned out. Yeah. We didn't make any money there, and there was no recognition. No, well, we gave half of it back for the table. And then there was no recognition of her, no announcement. Like, hey, ladies and gentlemen, Jersey All Pro fans, over there in the corner next to Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, we have one of Jersey All Pro's original women wrestlers. Go see April Hunter.
All you have to do.
You do that once when we got there, maybe maybe a half hour later, and then boom, call it a day. But nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yep.
I understand. They were a little preoccupied with the tribute. I understand that. But they looked like they were very well organized.
Yeah.
This was something that it looked great. Like the everything was done. It was nice. It was a beautiful setup. The lights, the music. It was it looked real deal. I'll give them that. It was real deal. Flat screens. They had like everything. How hard would it to write that in?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, how hard is that? Write that in. Now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I was a little upset about that. I'm sorry I cut you off.
That's all right. I was just going to say, off topic, it's funny how if it's not in the WWE, you hear woman wrestler, and you don't hear diva.
Yep.
Yeah, or superstar.
Right. Because a diva is not a wrestler.
Dude, we were talking about this yesterday.
A diva is a woman that plays music.
We were actually talking about this yesterday. You know the reason that they call them superstars instead of wrestlers?
Yeah. No. Actually, you do know this because Brodus told us, and you were there. You probably weren't on this.
Brodus?
Titus.
Yeah. It's because they get a tax break on the word superstar. Instead, because if they say
entertainers, they're
not an athlete.
They're not athletes.
Yep. Really?
Yep. They get a tax break, and that's why WWE has them called superstars and not wrestlers.
And if you notice, they don't call them wrestlers on broadcasts no more. They call them superstars. Yeah. Or WWE entertainers. Bullshit. Anyway.
I want wrestling back. Hashtag bring wrestling back.
Hashtag women's champion.
Yes. Hashtag
anti-diva.
Hashtag get rid of the Bellas.
Hashtag jazz.
Hashtag stop hashtagging. Okay. Yes, we got to see Warriors of Wrestling last night. We got to see Jazz
get back into the ring for the first time in 3 years.
She looks awesome.
Oh, with Bonesaw, right?
Yeah, it was her and
Nikki Adams.
Nikki Adams taking on Jesse Brooks and Brooke Tessmacher.
Oh shit!
It's a tag team match. Yeah.
Bonesaw won, right?
Yeah, her and Brooke won.
Yeah, her and Brooke won.
But yeah, wow.
She's a
just
beast.
wow.
Oh, I forgot to add during that stink face, like she pulled up her.
Oh yeah, to give herself a wedgie.
Like yeah, she gave herself a